guys had a good week? Tomorrow is already Thursday. It's kind of crazy. It's like I felt like it was Sunday yesterday. Granted, I didn't leave my house for the last 3 days. The weather's just been a little crazy and it's almost not worth leaving the house. So I'm more comfortable staying inside and being a homebody right now. Plus, I have a lot of things to work on, so I'm pretty happy to be home. Let's taste this popcorn. Very lightly buttered. Okay, so I've been meaning to do this episode for a while, and I kind of shot myself in the foot with it because now I don't really want to review it. Mainly because it's like super gross. If you haven't seen The Last of Us episode 2, do not watch this video because this is going to be a video about The Last of Us episode 2. And I don't want to spoil it for you. Of course, unless you don't mind me talking about it, me spoiling it for you, then by all means stick around. Okay, so let's get into it. So the last episode, we had a little baby Zendaya pass away. And then we had Pasquale taking care of, well, meeting, oh my gosh, what was her name? Okay, so I had to Google what Pasquale and the little girl's name is. So the little girl's name is Ellie, and Pasquale, his name is Joel. And then the other main character that's in this episode is Tess. So now that we've got that straight, Joel meets Ellie with Tess, and they discover that she needs to be taken to a certain location. She was handed over by Marlene, who was the head of the Fireflies, which is like a resistance in the post-apocalyptic era, where they're in a resistance against the Fedra, which I assume at this point is some sort of federal government. Well, they end up taking Ellie and trying to smuggle her out of the quarantine zone. The QZ zone is what they call it. Well, Marlene gets shot, and so they take Ellie out, and they start to move into the city, which is an abandoned city. And I am telling you, the nerves are shaking me. The sound is crazy. My nerves are getting to me. I'm starting to become a little bit unrattled, and I'm just like, okay, something's gonna happen. Something's gonna go on. And so they go into the city, and they kind of just are in awe of what happened. Well, Ellie is. The other two seem that like they're used to it. So they start to say, that the city was bombed. And if I back up a couple of minutes, the doctor who was looking at the dead corpse on the table discovered, and this was like in retrospect, so like maybe a decade before, there was this doctor who was looking onto a corpse, and the corpse had the oh my gosh, how do you say it, the cephalocordyceps buried inside the corpse's body. So she cuts the ankle, and then she looks at in her mouth of the corpse, and the doctor pulls out like the fungus, and it starts moving. It's super gross. That was the first precursor into knowing that it was going to be a crazy episode. So fast forward again. So they're walking through the city, but it's all like bombed and everything. And then they fungus can locate them and find out where they are, because the fungus goes underground and it can reach out for miles. So they just want to be careful when they step, and the bodies look like they're dead, but they're actually just resting like plants in the ground. It's kind of gross, creepy. Well, they go inside the building and they try to be as quiet as they can, so that way they can make it to the other side, because there's like a wall of rubble. Well, of course, nothing goes to plan, according to plan, and I'm like sitting at the edge of my seat already. Like, I can deal with zombies, but when it starts to get all like gross and bubbly and all kinds of nastiness, that's when I'm like, oh. So, you know, like how people have a fear of like circles, like, or holes, I should say. They have a fear of holes, like on your hand, if there's like a whole bunch of holes in your hand. That's what it kind of reminds me of, like the fungus. I don't know why. Whoa. And they were trying to be as quiet as they could, but Ellie accidentally awakens the zombies, and the zombies come running at them inside that little abandoned building. And I think it's called the clickers. They're like a special type of zombie because they have this like huge head that's like the shape of a fungus. So they don't have any eyes. They have a mouth to bite, but they can hear you. So if you don't move, they can't find you. Well, they try and move and shift around, but there's about 2 or 3 of those clickers, and they're just scanning the area with their head. Whoa, it's disgusting. So they end up locating Joel, Ellie, and Tess, and they start running through the building. And here I go again. I'm sitting there like, oh my god, run. What in the world's happening? Hurry up, stop, be quiet. Oh, so I'm sitting there just screaming at the TV, and they get one chance to like take off, but as soon as they're ready to take off, one of the clickers gets a hold of them and jumps on Tess and the kid Ellie. And so Joel comes over with like that giant rifle and shoots it. But this is a special kind of zombie. Of course it is, right? Because it doesn't die. It doesn't fall over and die. It like keeps trying to like bite them and like scratch their eyes out and jump on them and whatnot. So he's like shooting and he's taking multiple rounds. And finally, one of the clickers falls down and dies, I guess. And then another one chases them. Finally, they get out and they shoot the second clicker. And then they're heading out. This one seems like a little bit of a short episode. I don't know why. And then they get to this like truck that's outside, and I'm thinking, okay, there's definitely some zombies in there. Well, Joel opens the back of that truck. There's not any zombies, but there's a blood trail going inside the building. And at that point there, I'm thinking, okay, I think this is the area where they were supposed to smuggle the little girl to and hand her off. But there's nobody inside that building. There's one guy, he's infected, but he's laying down like he's dead. And there's just a bunch of like paper and like it was emptied and scattered and like quick. Like someone was like, they just took off. That's what it seemed like. So they get in there, and Tess is a little bit on edge, and she's kind of like, she's upset. You can tell she's clearly upset. Every time Joe tries to talk, she gets really annoyed at him. She gets frustrated. And to me, the relationship between the two, it seems like Tess is always the one who's trying to tell Joe that it's gonna be okay. Like she's the glass half full type of girl. And Joel seems like he's the glass half empty type of guy. So he says something to her, and she gets a little bit perturbed, and she's like, for once, can you please try and believe that there's a chance that we're gonna win, that there's hope? And that shuts him up right quick. He stands there and he's like confused, not understanding what's going on, but he knows there's something wrong. And then Tessa was just like, can you just leave? Can you just go somewhere? I don't know what she says exactly, but she kind of just shoos him away. So he walks off, and then Ellie finds out that she must sense it somehow. So she looks at Tess and tells Joel that but she was just like, she's infected. She knew she was. So Joel asks her to see the bite. And so Tess pulls down her collar, and then she's got a huge welt from a bite. And you can just see the inflammation turning red, and the vessels of her body starting to be filled with all the cordyceps fungus, and it's starting to spread. And at that point, I think from the movie they were saying if you get bit on the foot from the previous episode, it'll take like up to 24 hours for you to turn. And then the higher the bite goes, the infection site to your head, the quicker you're going to turn into a zombie. So she's bit right on the neck, so I'm sure she's only got like mere minutes. It wasn't very long after they got to that location that's empty from the abandoned building. I would say maybe like 5-6 minutes. Well, she's standing there and she's just like, okay, I'm gonna stay here. I'm not gonna move any forward, but you guys need to go, basically. And then the zombie guy that is playing dead, he jumps up and tries to like, well, I guess he like lifts his torso up and he tries to like attack them. And then Joel comes over with the gun and shoots him. Thank God, because those things are a trip. And then once he shoots the zombie, the underground fungus can tell where that gunshot is coming from. So as the fungus is buried underneath the city, it awakens the zombies that are outside, maybe a mile away. The ones that were like laying around all over the place when they were over the overpass. Yeah, it wakes them up. So those zombies get up and start charging toward that area that they're at. It's in like, I kind of want to say it's like a government building. I'm not sure, but it's a huge lobby. Maybe it's a hotel. I don't know. Well, they start charging toward them, and Tess can hear them outside. Joel can hear them, and Elle is scared for her life. They can all tell that they're coming. So Tess tells them, take the girl. You can do this. I never ask you for anything. Take her. And Joel doesn't want to leave her. I don't know what those two have been through together, but they're very, very close. And he's like, he doesn't want to leave her. He doesn't want to leave Tess. He loves her. So what happens is, oh my God. See, I'm so into it. I forgot about my popcorn and my Diet Coke. Well, my iced tea. Well, Joel takes Ellie and Tess stays behind. So she's standing there. And she knocks all the gasoline tanks with, so the fuel can come out. And just as she's doing that, all the zombies charge the door and they burst the door open. They're banging on it and they burst it open. And they charge at her. And she's, shooting them with a gun. And then basically it's her last stand. And so I'm thinking, okay, she's either going to make it out, and she's also going to be immune, just like the little girl, Ellie, or this is really it. And I'm thinking, okay, these three are very important characters. They've been in the movie, the show, for the first episode, and this one, so it has to be a plot twist. Basically, I'm thinking, okay, Tess must be immune too, and probably Joel too, because maybe they've evolved alongside the virus over the last 20 years, and they are somehow immune. Maybe that's what it is. So I'm like holding out hope for her. So she's shooting the she's shooting the zombies left and right. And then she's trying to be quiet, but one of the zombies locates her and like pushes her up against the pillar. There's this pillar, and her back is against the wall basically at this point. And she's trying to like flick the lighter. That's how he located her, because of the sound, and she's trying to throw it down so that way all the fire can start and basically obliterate all the zombies, like a suicide, like a suicide. How do you say it? Like one last heroic deed, basically. The zombie walks up to her face and decides to open his mouth and French kiss her. Oh my god. With tongue. Tongue and all. Well, it's a zombie, right? So it's infected. So, as he tries to stick his tongue in her mouth, the little wormy fungus comes out and like basically Frenches her. And as it's doing that, she lets it do that to her. She's focusing on the lighter. Finally, she gets it to click. Well, she's got a full mouth of zombie tongue. And she drops it, and the whole building explodes. And all the zombies get blown out of the building. And Joel turns around because he hears the huge explosion. And at this point, he's heartbroken. He doesn't know what to do. So move forward. So he walks forward with Ellie. And then the scene ends, and it's like, I swear that episode was only like 20 minutes because all I literally remember was the doctor looking at the dead body while she was examining it, and the dead body was like bare, like it had all her bits out and everything. But I remember that part, and then the doctor tells the military guy, bomb the city basically because there's no way you can contain this fungus because there's not a cure, there's no vaccine, there's no medicine for it. Basically, it's evolved with the climate to be warm enough to host inside a human body, and you can't kill it except for, you can't cure it except for killing it, which includes the whole city. And they said there's about 14 people who were exposed inside a rice factory, I think it was, a flour factory somewhere. So they don't know who got bit, so everyone's at large. The whole population can be infected. So at that point, they bomb the city, and from there it switches on over to where I was describing with Tess and the girl, and it's like, I don't know. That's what I feel like it was. Yeah. So it was kind of a crazy episode, and I knew it was going to be super disgusting. And those clickers, those are the worst so far. Have y'all ever seen like coral? Have y'all ever seen coral and it kind of like weaves in and out like that, and there's like layers to it, like the coral? It kind of looks like that, but on the head. Ugh, disgusting. Anyway, it was kind of a crazy deal. And I'm thinking, okay, well, it's gotten pretty bad now. It's either going to calm down in the next episode 3, or it's going to continue to get worse and more gross. And y'all know that HBO Max has a reputation for going there. They really do. They have a reputation for putting it all up in your face, all the bits, all the grossness, all the blood. They'll kill off your favorite character, they don't care. And I'm saying that because I watched the whole Game of Thrones series, which was freaking phenomenal, but they done killed off almost a lot of everybody that were really cool. And they weren't ashamed to be showing everything. Child, those actors and actresses, those actors and actresses better be getting banked because they've been showing everything in it. was a girl, and I would have been calling Joel Pasquale the whole time, and then Tessa would have been like homegirl. I don't know. Thank God for the internet. But I hope you enjoyed the quick recap and overview of episode 2 of The Last of Us. It was a little bit of a short episode to me, but what do I know? I don't like the zombies, so thanks for